The following podcast contains politics, leftist politics, the whole truth, justice, and the American way thing. We live in a world where one has to post this. Progress is a dirty word, such as science and reason. My superheroes would weep. Also, this podcast contains naughty language, so please be advised. The comment section has also been deactivated because this is a broadcast, not a conversation. Alrighty, I wasn't going to do this, but it kind of needs to because it's pretty damn funny. What's up, everybody? I'm getting really excited for Comic-Con's announcement tomorrow, Saturday, by DC Comics. And, you know, we were really hyped until some idiot posted some opinion, which every other idiots online picked up as news. That's the problem with the internet today. A lot of this lazy online media don't do fact checking. You know, if I say, some opinion, I don't run it as news. I don't run it as facts. Even things like it's my opinion, then E equals MC squared is still under heavy scrutiny, but the world's top scientists, sometimes they find proof of it true. Sometimes they might say, well, in a black hole, maybe some things are not quite as it seems. Likewise, when some idiots back in a while were like, bacon's the best, yeah. And then somebody's like, excuse me, sir, actually, beer is the best. Oh, war breaks up, right? And then somebody's like, no, avocado spread is the best. And then, somebody goes, nah, scotch. Oh, and then, I go, coffee. So it's just a bunch of opinions. It doesn't mean they're news. It doesn't mean it's the best. So how did we get to this stupid news that it's picked up by a lot of dumb freaking networks and dumb freaking websites that Batman is gonna, leave behind Ben Affleck apparently. Or again, the Ben Affleck wants to leave Batman. Well, it's not that difficult. We have a smartphone. So why are those websites not being smart enough and Googling it? We also have smart people using smartphones, posting everywhere. What? Did you hear this? Is this true? Well, did you Google it? Did you get to the source? I mean, come on, DC guys. We know of the source wall. Try some Googling or ask other people before posting shit, because when you post this shit, it spreads like wildfire. That's how you get rumors that celebrities die. I'm going to take a moment to give my condolences to Linkin Park fans, because that's what happened. I heard Chester Bennington was dead, and I thought it was a rumor, and I didn't thought it was real because of things like this. Anyways, I like Linkin Park. I got their CD bootleg before it was available to purchase. They've been a staple of my childhood. Cool stuff. We used to joke that they released some pretty cool songs with the Transformers movies for creative purposes. But anyways, going back to the topic at hand. Yes, how did this thing get started? Well, it is by a person named Kim Masters. It's a, journalist from KCRW and the Hollywood Reporter. And she's a juror for the Peabody Board. Now, I think she, on her Twitter, she says surviving journalist. I don't want you to come after this woman, but I think if she wants journalism to survive, she would be ashamed of what her so-called colleagues have done with this opinion piece. And this video is not going to be to barrage her with insults, but it's more to point out some really cool stuff about the DC universe in general. But before we do that, big shout out to DC Squad, who were the ones to point out that Kim Masters was not happy when angry idiots online were body shaming Gal Gadot. Yet she's body shaming Ben Affleck for being too old and wrinkly. But to make her point invalid, she says that Ben Affleck would be pushing 50 before, the Batman arrives. And, I don't know if you've seen other, actors, but a lot of old male actors are, still doing franchises, up in their 50s, like Tom Cruise, The Rock's getting up there, Jason Statham, freaking Robert Downey Jr. is 52 right now, or something crazy like that. So yeah, a lot of these male actors are doing really old, action stunt. What is The Expendables if not a bunch of old guys just still kicking ass, right? And not only the guys, the girls too. Just look at, Wonder Woman, and the actress who plays, Princess Bride. She's up in her 50s, and she looks badass. I'm pretty sure Kim Masters herself has some pretty awesome things about this other actress. So, it's definitely clickbait. It's kind of shameful that they're doing that. Now, here is the fun part of our awesome podcast. Let's say that this is true, and I will teach you why this is actually awesome. Let's entertain that notion and say that Ben Affleck wants to leave. Why would he want to leave? Well, he's a person. He's an entrepreneur. He's a father. He's a director. He's a producer. Philanthropist. Not to mention he's an aficionado of life. Maybe he wants to travel the world and things like that. So there are many reasons for leaving, and I think want to give a shout out to the Flightcast. Yes, it would be pretty egotistical of us fanboys to say, he left because of us. No, but let's entertain that notion. Obviously Kim Masters, I don't think she's read DC Comics, so let's assume that happens. How would you give Ben Affleck a graceful exit? Well, if you're like me and happen to love DC Comics, I'm going to get into major spoiler alerts. Okay. This is from Final Crisis. If you guys recall, so you guys have been warned. If you haven't read Final Crisis, probably don't listen to this podcast. But I'm going to say that you do. I'm going to say that you are a DC fan. All right. In Final Crisis, Darkseid, or a version of Darkseid, kills Batman with his Omega Beam. Now, that could happen in, say, Justice League movie as an additional scene. Maybe that'd be the cliffhanger. Now, what would Matt Reeves have to do to, have a trilogy with a brand new Batman? Well, here's the fun part. You can start the film with Battle of the Cowl storyline, which featured, Dick Grayson taking on the mantle of the Batman, and then we can have, Joss Whedon's Batgirl cameo, We can also introduce Damian Wayne coming back to Gotham to claim the title that belongs to his father. That can be like a nice, storyline. And then at the beginning, kind of set up the plot line of how Bruce Wayne returns throughout time from the amazing Grant Morrison run. Again, that's kind of way out there, but that would be a beautiful way to recast Bruce Wayne and still have Ben Affleck as Batman, because when Bruce Wayne returns to our current movie continuity, you can just have another actor and blame it on Darkseid and all this awesome esoteric Grant Morrison time traveling stuff. So even that stupid rumor still gives us a really great DC movie, because we know the comics and we know how to tell stories. Why? Because we've been telling these stories to people who don't freaking read comics. We know how to make stories interesting, especially to people who pretend to read Marvel and they just say, well, I just like Batman. And then you ask them, well, what's the latest comic you read? And they're like, and then we talk about comics, Again, this is a wonderful opportunity for anybody who's read comics to be like, yeah, let's entertain that notion, and perfectly well. Now, once you cast someone younger as Batman for, the return, that would give you a really, really powerful film, Battle of the Cowl, Bruce Wayne coming back, time traveling, and then, that'll be your first Matt Reeves movie, which would be pretty damn cool. And then you're still left with 2 more movies in the trilogy, which would be pretty damn awesome. And, this is from a DC fan. Now, will they do that? Probably not. I think that the way they might reboot some characters is in the multiverse. And I think they're doing it far superior than, the competition. Apparently, there was some discrepancy in Spider-Man Homecoming on how the timeline works, and they wanted to shoehorn this young Spider-Man, but the events do not line up to the age and the years that they claimed Spider-Man witnessed them. So that's a big problem that no website is picking up because they're afraid of Disney. Alright guys, so this is just a short video. I'm really excited. I'm actually going to be recording some stuff because later tonight, because stuff has come up, the Watchmen joining DC Universe. It's big. I'm gonna have a lot to say about it. But anyways, this is a short video. Again, enjoy DC and don't let the clickbait fool you. Tomorrow, it's gonna be awesome. Thank you. Dile sí a DC.